talk about the loudness, it's not even compared to a giant, maybe a giant and a real giant, and how far it can go. But this was much more. There was power, there was anger, and he wasn't there, so I wasn't too keen to open up to some sort of argument, and it was just a steady course that we had to do, and everybody had to just explain himself. So I did mine, and I revealed to him how I concluded my whole experience, a memorable day of my life, and that is the memorable day that I live with every day. My life is always living a life on the edge. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, nor the next. I just live the life as I can, and I don't tolerate anything that will, disturb me, or anything that would invoke or some sort of provoke anything out of my life. I wouldn't tolerate anything that is there to torment or sort of make fun of whatever it is that that might be. I don't expect certain things which are of jovial nature unnecessarily, especially if I can take it. And I only accept what I can take. That's how I sort of live my life now. And I'm not too keen about what somebody might think, because I went through the experience alone. Nobody went through the experience with me. So it's up to me to sort of come to that point of deciding. People who were there, present there today, where were they? What are their views? I have not been able to get hold of them. Neither do I know where they are, even if I could try find a way. But most of the time, with the Christians, they are so obsessed. There's a spirit that holds them, to most religious people, to the idea that, let's embrace him and keep him to our side, and it's our God, or making claim of all sort of unnecessary nonsense, But they don't even care whether my faith, the faith that I have, does matter or what. Do you care about my faith? So I put it out there to you as well. Make your mind up about all these things. I mean, if anybody is trying to address something to you, you try to figure out, what does this guy believe in? What does he think? What made him fall into that? I think that is what a seeker, or let's say somebody, a scientific person who is interested in research and sort of discovering things, this is the attitude that they have towards life. Oh, how did it happen? If there was a scientist there that day, that night that I went through the experience, that is how he will be thinking. He wanted to know what made me say, or what made me, end up speaking so loudly. What is it that is unique about me? They will be interested in knowing that, all that part, and interested in what I present, even in a state where they don't believe, but they will believe what has happened, But when you come to Christianity, they conclude, anybody who's a Christian or a religious person will sort of look at the book that is before him or her and pick certain words there and believe in those words and sort of blend it as being, oh, this is a prophecy, this is what has happened. They just link it without having any logic to it. And sometimes it's sad to sort of enter into that experience or discussion with people of that nature, because it wasn't a debate. That if it was outside of that, and most of the time this gentleman is not even ready to talk about these things. You can see him always escaping and having excuses, and he doesn't have time for these things. So why would he misuse such moments to make such silly comments? But anyway, I let it go. There is a single person I have met, just a few people I've met, let's say the Jehovah's Witness, even they cannot even stand to continue to make the debates and the questions that I have to put forth. Sometimes they have to say, okay, we will go and come back. They are not ready. I mean, you are not ready to go out there. Even me, with all these questions that I keep bringing and all this understanding or knowledge I feel I have developed in the religious grounds, I dare not go out there to challenge or to put myself into, because you will meet somebody who is a real thinker. And sometimes with my own experience and what I've learned, the spirit betrays you. The spirit will leave you. The spirit will, whatever spirit that leaves you or whatever, you can be in a situation where your mind is gone. You can't even remember what you have to say. And you make a fool out of yourself. Meanwhile, if let's say, for example, you're using the Bible or the Quran, whichever book, in the Bible it is clearly stated that you should defend your faith. And here you are in the middle of a discussion or debate, and you have forgotten your quotation, or you've forgotten the idea that you have to put forth. Your mind, you're not making sense or logic. You're not making logic. You're not logically speaking. You look ridiculous. Why would you allow yourself to fall into that? But that even should tell you that the spirit or the so-called status that you find yourself into is not so accurate or perfect. So you don't have to willfully give yourself to anything just like that. And that advice is also there in the same books that we read, or the same book that you might find, religious book that you might find, especially what I know of the Christian book. The Quran, I'm sure, also advises you about false prophet, false spirit, deceiving spirits. And I was just pointing out in the previous video of deceiving spirits, leading us into all kinds of, which is in Timothy, probably 2 Timothy 4 or 1 Timothy 4. Somewhere they're revealing that there are deceiving spirits in the last days. And if these are some things that, if you are lucky to have a book that will reveal such things to you, comments like that, you have to take it seriously. It's first epistle of Timothy, something written. It was a book written by Paul, chapter 4. He said, now the Spirit expressly says that in latter times some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons. They will move away from the faith. And that is exactly what I'm trying to talk about here. Now, this text I've just read, according to the Bible and the commentary, it came from a scripture that was there long before they even invented the Bible. And so that time, if they were talking about today, what the invention that we have today. It is something that they were talking at that time regarding the inventions of this book, especially this book that we have, the Bible we have today. Why would you think of any other things? And this Bible has come out of people of the generation that I would say not too long away from me, who did it in a sense of what? In a sense of faith? No. In the moment where, according to the historical readings, faith has already been put aside. People have departed from faith. And actually, truly, the true Christian that we have today, the current Christianity, are of nothing relating to faith. It is far from faith. They might demonstrate and talk about faith, but it is nothing to do with faith. It is some sort of hypocrisy approach. It's like they're pretending to be something that you're not. Most of it is like they had to make it up. If it's not going to happen, we have to invent something. And the effort is put out there to invent something. If miracle is not happening, we'll find out to make sure the miracle happens. It's not like what faith. They are not having the approach of which they personally want to discover something. And since they don't have that attitude of wanting to discover, they don't discover anything. And so if we read things in this book or in the Bible or in any book which was written long ago, and which, especially the Bible, which has been revised to this moment, especially which they have a real text or scripture there, you can realize that it is possible that the words are really something concerning today, this moment, and it does not exclude how this book came about, how it has been invented. I'm not attacking Christianity. I'm not attacking people of the Christian countries. I'm not attacking the West. I'm not attacking Africans. I'm not attacking anybody. I am concerned about the attitude. As I said, that experience that I've gone through has made me very curious about anything which is a possible sinister, and I wouldn't have to exclude anything. I have to put myself in a situation where I'm outside of the scope of any religion, trying to discover answers. And if I don't become a good investigator, how am I going to find out? Maybe the problem is something within you yourself, and you're looking somewhere else. is within your faith and you are looking somewhere else.